Right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am super excited to be sharing about my passion and expertise and the ways that your gut could be impacting your energy, your weight, your skin, your mood, and, just your overall health. So, just to start, let me tell you a little bit more about who I am and how I came to be a gut health specialist. So, my name is Jaime Heer, and I am a functional nutritionist. And people often ask, what's the difference between a functional nutritionist and a dietitian? Well, the key here is that I go beyond just food recommendations. I take a whole body approach looking at diet, lifestyle, stress, movement, and even toxins to, uncover the root causes of health issues. Functional nutrition is about restoring balance. Your body is designed to heal. But in, today's modern crazy world, there are definitely roadblocks that we have to overcome to achieve that. And my job is to help you remove those barriers so that it really identify, I should say, and remove those barriers because a lot of times we don't really even know what's getting in the way, so that you can thrive, not just survive. So, my passion for this work comes from my own health struggles. In my 20s, I was experiencing chronic acne, digestive issues. I was super depressed, various things that you a lot of times go through in your 20s, I feel like. But, I saw doctor after doctor, and they just wanted to give me pills, and nothing was resolving what the issue was because no one was really trying to get down to that root cause. And I honestly feel like the medications only made things worse because at 25, ended up being diagnosed with a lifelong autoimmune disorder, type 1 diabetes. And it wasn't until I focused on whole foods and stress management and gut health that I finally got to a place where I now feel super empowered and actually in control of my own health. I realize that it's up to me, right? It's not up to a doctor to give me a pill to make me better. It's up to me to make the daily choices every day so that I can feel, and ideally look as good as I want to, as good as I possibly can. So, just before this, I spent years in the wine industry, which I now realize was also sabotaging my health. But when I changed careers, I knew I wanted to help others experience the same transformation I did when I finally turned to holistic health and holistic nutrition. So I earned my certification in functional nutrition and have been in practice since 2019, specializing in gut health, hormone balance, and helping people achieve healthy and sustainable weight loss. But, when it comes down to it, no matter what the health concern is, I always start with the gut because without a healthy gut, true healing isn't really possible. And today we're going to learn exactly why that is. All right, so enough about me. Let's talk about what you're going to learn today. And I want to just preface this. This is like one of my second live webinar. So thank you again for being here. And please bear with me if I run into any technical issues. And also, the way my mind works, sometimes I will go off track for a minute, but I'm always going to try to bring myself back on topic. And then also, I'm going to be answering any questions you have at the end of the presentation, so you can pop them into the chat box, but just know that I'm not going to be looking at that until the end. Okay, so here are the main points that I'm going to be talking about today, and I'm going to pop my glasses on just so that my eyes don't get super tired while I'm doing this. Okay, so we're going to start with what your microbiome is and what does it do. And then an overview of how your gut and your gut microbiome affect your energy, your weight, your skin, and your mood. And it affects, so much more than that, but I'm just going to highlight those main pieces today. And then key strategies that you can begin to implement right away in order to support your gut health. I'm also going to give you a little preview into my new program, the Ultimate Gut Reset, and then we'll have that Q&A at the end. All right, let's dive in here. Okay, so your gut is more than just digestion. It is the foundation of your overall health. And at the heart of gut health is your gut microbiome, which is composed of trillions of microbes like bacteria, fungi, and even some parasites that, all live within your gut, which is essentially like your intestinal tract. It's a super complex ecosystem that I like to think of as a rainforest. And when it's diverse and balanced, that gut rainforest is going to thrive. Just like trees provide shelter and insects support the food chain, your gut bacteria, so your gut microbiome, have essential jobs in digestion, immunity, metabolism, and hormone regulation. But if this balance is disrupted by factors like stress, poor diet, or toxins, it's like deforestation in the rainforest, leading to common symptoms like weight gain, digestive problems, skin issues, mood imbalances, etc., etc. So, caring for your gut means nurturing this ecosystem because when your microbiome thrives, then so will you. So, here are some key functions that a thriving gut and thriving microbiome will support. So, digestion and nutrient absorption, your gut is breaking down your food, absorbing those essential nutrients, and you need those nutrients because those are the tools that your body is using to make your cells and your hormones and your tissues. Next, we have metabolism and weight balance because your gut bacteria actually influence appetite and insulin sensitivity and fat storage. And that's why you might notice there's probiotic companies that are, that have actual probiotics that are meant for metabolism or for helping people lose weight or for helping with mood balance because they're actually starting to determine which bacteria influence these things. It's such a cool time in gut health science because we're starting to really understand the microbiome better and be able to pinpoint these things. So I think it's going to make a huge difference in the way that we approach our health in general. And then there's immune health. 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Those bacteria actually train and alert your immune cells so that when a toxin or a pathogen comes in that needs to be get got needs to got needs to be attacked so that it can be removed from the body. They're there working alongside your immune system, helping that to happen. And then you have your gut lining integrity. So your intestinal lining is essentially what, keeps your digestive system from your bloodstream. And so it's really important to have a nice tight barrier between your digestive system and your bloodstream because that's what's keeping those toxins and pathogens and undigested food from seeping out into your bloodstream. So you want to have that strong gut barrier, which basically is when we have leaky gut, that means that you don't have a strong intestinal barrier. And then those toxins are going to be able to seep into your bloodstream. And then inflammation is going to take hold because your immune system is reacting to these things that are seeping out into your bloodstream. Then you have your brain and mood because your gut is responsible for producing key neurotransmitters, which directly influence your mood, your focus, your stress resilience. And I'm going to go over all of this in a lot more detail. And then detoxification. This is absolutely huge. I talk about detoxification a lot because it gets really forgotten about in our conventional medicine world. And so your body has to be able to detoxify and clear and get rid of any sort of toxin, first of all, and then used hormones. So your body's producing hormones throughout the month. Those need to be broken down and removed from the body. And then any sort of cellular waste also needs to be removed from the body. So that's why having regular bowel movements at least one time per day is absolutely critical for health. We have to be getting these toxins and used hormones out of our bodies. And then lastly, hormone regulation. Excuse me. So a healthy gut is going to support balanced stress hormones, balanced sex hormones, thyroid hormones, hunger hormones. All of these things are impacting your mood, your metabolism, and your energy levels. All right. So we talked about the microbiome and how a diverse, thriving gut ecosystem supports your health. But what happens when things fall out of balance? So if you think of your gut like a rainforest, if outside forces like pollution or deforestation disrupt that ecosystem, then certain species are going to die off while others are going to be able to take over, throwing everything into chaos. And the same thing is going to happen in your gut when those factors that I mentioned before, stress, toxins, pesticides, processed foods, medications, and poor digestion create an imbalance. Harmful bacteria are able to overgrow and beneficial ones start to become depleted. And then that's when inflammation can start to take over. And inflammation is the underlying reason for 90% of, disease, especially in our Western world. So really keeping that inflammation down is what is so critical. So, the goal is to have that clean, thriving gut environment, just like this picture here of that, beautiful river rainforest versus having that, polluted swamp. So, always keep that in mind. Keep in mind that in order to protect your health, you have to protect this delicate gut ecosystem. All right. So, how does gut health affect energy? So, if your gut isn't thriving, neither is your energy. So, when your gut's out of balance, nutrient absorption takes a hit. So, even if you're eating a healthy diet, I get told this all the time. People are like, I feel like I eat really healthy. Why do I still feel like crap? You're likely not absorbing your nutrients, so no matter what you eat, if you're not absorbing those nutrients, then it's not going to be all that helpful. You need those essential vitamins and minerals in order to actually create energy. And then on top of that, your gut needs to be in a good place. Otherwise, your immune system is going to be overactive. And you have to think about, when you get sick, your immune system, you want to just kind of lie around, right? Because your immune system's been sidetracked because now it's like, I have to focus on fighting this. So if your immune system's overactive, that's requiring a lot of energy to function. And that's, part of the reason why your body is going to feel depleted all the time. If you, even though you might not have an active viral infection, if your immune system is essentially fighting off this overgrowth of bacteria in your gut or all of these things that are seeping out of your gut into your bloodstream, then it's kind of just this chronic low grade inflammation that's happening that's stealing that energy away from those more important tasks like metabolism and brain function, so you're going to feel super drained. And then another super key aspect to overall health is blood sugar. So your gut bacteria play a key role in regulating your blood sugar level. So this is basically, when you eat food, your blood sugar goes up and then your body has to manage that by producing different hormones to allow your cells to utilize that intake of gluc of sugar essentially, even though when I say sugar, I mean carbohydrates. So sugar could be anything relating to like vegetables or even, cookies. They all end up getting turned into glucose. So it's a super big part of your gut is actually managing your body's utilization of that glucose. And you're going to notice if things are out of balance and you're going to have a lot more spikes and crashes, making you feel like you're on this energy roller coaster. So, if you are feeling sluggish, constantly fatigued, struggling to concentrate, craving carbs or relying on caffeine to get through the day, your gut could definitely be a big reason for that. All right. And then how does your gut affect your weight? So, your gut bacteria help determine how efficiently you burn calories. As I mentioned before, how well you're utilizing that energy source, whether you're more prone to storing fat, and even how full you feel after meals. Some bacteria can boost metabolism while others promote fat storage. So, in other words, your gut microbiome could be influencing your weight more than you realize. Just real quickly, I don't want to get too into it because I could go off on a tangent, but there's a lot of hype around those GLP-1 medications, Ozempic or Mounjaro. And a big piece why those are working so well is because, people who have these resistant weight loss or obesity, it's because their guts are completely out of whack and their bodies aren't utilizing those natural hormones that regulate your hunger the way that they should be, or they're not producing them in enough quantities. So by using these medications, which they're not even medications really, they're actually just synthetic hormones. So our body produces the hormone that they are now able to give to people through the, through pharmacy prescriptions. And they're working really well because they're doing what our bodies are meant to do. So it's very cool that we can do that synthetically. But at the same time, in my opinion, like really I'd rather help people get to a place where their bodies can do it on their own. But I appreciate that, we can hopefully help them get to that place with these medications and then really focus on gut health at the same time would be the ideal way to focus on that. All right, so another major factor is dysbiosis. So, which is basically a fancy way of saying an imbalance of gut bacteria. So, where your harmful bacteria have overgrown. So, like if you consider like there's a lot more snakes in your rainforest and there's a lot less birds. So things have become imbalanced. Um, so, this is definitely going to disrupt that digestion, metabolism, and hunger piece because the signals are getting thrown off because you don't have the right amounts of certain bacteria that help regulate all of that. Your those bacteria, if you actually have bad bacteria that overgrows, they love sugar. They thrive on sugar. So they can literally send signals to your brain to feed them more sugar. So if you're someone who struggles with intense cravings, stubborn weight, blood sugar swings, um, sugar cravings, especially, your microbiome could be a really big piece of that puzzle. All right. And then let's talk about how gut health affects skin. So this is something that's really close to my heart because I have struggled with skin problems for years, and I know how frustrating and discouraging it can be, but I also know firsthand that when you focus on optimizing your gut health, your skin can truly transform. This is what got me into holistic nutrition was I was trying to resolve why am I in my late 20s, early 30s and still having skin problems. So, your gut and your skin are linked through something called your gut skin axis. And when your gut is off balance, it can absolutely show up on your skin. And here's why. First off, we have leaky gut and inflammation. So, when your gut is leaky and those unwanted substances are seeping into your bloodstream, this is going to trigger an immune response and inflammation, which for some people, not everyone, but if you have that predisposition to certain conditions, it can trigger those symptoms of breakouts, eczema flares, redness, rosacea, irritation. Next, you have nutrient absorption because your gut plays a major role in absorbing important nutrients for skin health. Things like zinc and vitamin C and vitamin A, and those really important omega-3 fatty acids. So, when your gut is out of balance, you might not absorb these nutrients properly, which can then affect your skin's ability to heal, to fight inflammation, and to regulate oil production. And then, of course, detoxification. If you're not eliminating waste properly, like in the case if you're not having regular, well formed bowel movements, then toxins and excess hormones can recirculate in your body, leading to skin flare ups. And of course, hormones, they have a huge impact on your skin. Many people notice flare ups during certain times of their cycle, showing just how much those ebbs and flows of hormones can affect your skin health, especially if they are imbalanced due to an inflamed gut, and detoxification is a big part of that, as I think I spoke to earlier. If you're not getting rid of your hormones, so but yeah, as I said, you're going through these ebbs and flows each month, and then your body needs to break down that estrogen, break down that progesterone, and testosterone, and then it needs to get rid of it. But if it's sitting in your colon, or if it's just not getting cleared out at all and broken down, then your body's reabsorbing it. And you now have these hormonal imbalances. And a lot of times people will notice like PMS, their breasts getting tender, their, mood imbalances, bloating. Those are all signs, especially if they're around different times of your cycle, that your hormones are imbalanced. And then blood sugar is always a concern as well, especially as it relates to, if you're eating too many processed and refined foods, you're going to have those spikes often, which means your insulin, which is the hormone that helps your body actually take in the glucose. So if you're having blood sugar spikes, your body's producing a lot of insulin, and insulin is very much correlated to having skin breakouts because it's affecting your body's oil production, and it's making it so that you're not able to regulate that very well. So the takeaway here is if your skin is inflamed or you struggle with chronic skin issues, there's definitely a good chance that your gut is inflamed as well. All right. And then lastly, let's talk about how your gut affects your mood. And the cool thing is, like, I had mentioned some of the things I was dealing with. So I was dealing with skin issues, digestion, and depression. And, I didn't go into holistic nutrition or change my diet because I was like, oh, I want to solve my depression. I did it because I was like, I want to have clear skin. But by doing so, like, I started having regular bowel movements every day. Check, awesome. Now my digestion is so much better. And then I noticed that I didn't need to take Prozac anymore. And not saying that's the case for everyone, but for me, it was pretty amazing. Those like side benefits of optimizing my gut and my nutrition just has made me feel so much better overall. Okay, so let's talk about how your gut affects your mood. So, your gut and your brain are in constant communication through the gut brain axis, meaning what happens in your gut directly impacts how you feel mentally and vice versa. So, a fascinating fact is that about 90% of your serotonin, your feel good neurotransmitter that boosts happiness, supports digestion, and regulates sleep, is actually made in your gut. But, serotonin isn't the only neurotransmitter influence. You also have GABA and you have dopamine. GABA helps promote calmness and reduces stress and is an important part of sleep regulation. And dopamine drives motivation and pleasure. So when your gut is out of balance, it can throw all of these neurotransmitters off. You know, they like if you're low in serotonin and GABA and dopamine, this can lead to anxiety, low mood, digestive issues, trouble relaxing, and poor sleep. Another interesting connection is that when dopamine is low, your motivation drops. And then your body, as a way to try to help you feel good, will actually start to crave sugar because it's searching for a quick dopamine boost, because sugar actually stimulates the part of the brain that's affected by dopamine. So your body's going to actually start like craving sugar because it's trying to help you feel better. So, in short, a healthy gut is essential for stable mood, better stress resilience, and mental clarity. Okay, so we've talked about how your gut affects all of these things, but what happens when you ignore it? So here are some of the most common signs of an unhealthy gut. And it's important to know that, these aren't just random symptoms. I like to think of them as warning signs that your body is out of balance. So if they are left unchecked, that's when that chronic inflammation sets in and it increases the risk of way more serious health issues. There is a saying, excuse me, genes load the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. So while you may have a genetic predisposition to certain conditions like Crohn's, diabetes, Hashimoto's, or Alzheimer's, whether those genes activate or not depends on, so much of what you're doing with your diet, your lifestyle, your stress, and your gut health. And back to my original story about getting type 1 diabetes at 25. I think that that was because I was just very inflamed. And, if I had been able to maybe focus more on that holistic health rather than just taking antibiotics for years, ruining my gut health in order to help, my skin be clear, I might not have ever gotten type 1 diabetes. And I don't know that for sure. But that's definitely something that I have I have a suspicion of. And I think that, a lot of autoimmune disorders can be avoided if we can just keep our inflammation down. All right, let's see. So, so many people turn to those various remedies like super restrictive diets or pharmaceutical drugs to help manage their symptoms, not realizing that these aren't just symptoms to be covered up. And so until you address those root causes, like I had spoke to earlier, your body's not going to be able to truly rebalance, making it nearly impossible to ever reach those health goals. So, we must take a holistic approach. You are a whole person. Every single thing that happens in your life is going to affect your health. And unfortunately, there's no magic pharma wellness, like a truly healthy body and mind approach that prioritizes those foundations of health: hydration, diet, digestion, blood sugar balance, detoxification, movement, stress management, and sleep. And that might sound like a lot, but they're all so interconnected. If you work on a few things, everything else will fall into place. Focusing on these foundations can help you unlock that long-term health and vitality. All right, so now that we've covered matter, I'm going to go over 3 common health mistakes and what to do instead. So, number 1 is going to be drinking too much liquid with meals, because this actually dilutes your stomach acid and your gastric enzymes, making it harder for your body to break down your food. So, of course, it's important to stay on top of hydration, but instead, what you want to be doing is hydrating between meals and having a max of 12 ounces of liquid 15 minutes before and 1 hour after. That enables your body to have the right amount of stomach acid and digestive enzymes in order to actually break down your meals. And a lot of the reason why people have bloating and acid reflux is literally because they don't have enough stomach acid or they don't have enough digestive enzymes, and their body is struggling to break down their food. And then next you have, let me click that a couple of times here. So, a lot of times people will load up on gut healthy, what they think of as gut, or I shouldn't say gut healthy, what they think of as healthy foods. Um, but really, these things can be really irritating to your digestive system, especially if you already have an inflamed or imbalanced gut. So, some of those healthy foods, are sourdough bread, dairy, whole grains, raw vegetables, nuts and seeds, beans and lentils, fermented foods. So these are healthy foods in theory, but if they're eaten too much, or if they're just not super high quality, then they can definitely be potential gut irritants. So instead, what you want to do is, just enjoy a wide variety of foods. Don't just eat the exact same things every day over and over again. You want to give your body a lot of different nutrients. So make sure that you have tons of different colors in it, variety of things, raw, cooked. In my opinion, as a holistic nutritionist, I think that we should be enjoying super high quality sourced animal proteins and fats. Um, and then, if you're having nuts and seeds, which are definitely great, try to stick to the kinds that aren't roasted in crap oil like canola. So always check those ingredients and make sure that they're not being roasted in. I actually just opt for raw. And then sprouted is going to be best because it's easier to digest. As well as, bone broth is such a healing food, so highly recommend starting to incorporate bone broth into your diet if you don't already. And if you're someone who happens to get like acid reflux or bloating or belching on occasion, then you could definitely try taking digestive bitters with meals, because that's going to help with that digestive process. If you're someone where this is happening a lot, then I definitely recommend, looking deeper into what's going on in your microbiome and in your with your digestion to try to remedy that, because those symptoms of acid reflux and bloating, when they're chronic, are definitely signs that something is out of balance. And then lastly, is ignoring the gut stress connection. You can eat all the right foods, but if you're constantly stressed, your gut is going to suffer. Chronic stress weakens digestion, disrupts your gut microbiome, and it leads to inflammation. So instead, we want to be prioritize prioritizing supporting that gut brain axis by mindfully eating, which basically means, do your best to like sit down, slow down, and chew your food super well. Don't be shoving protein bars in your mouth while you're driving to work or to wherever you're going. You need to give your body time to get into that rest to digest state so that it can actually produce the enzymes you need and fully break down your meals. And then focusing on those, nervous system regulation practices like meditation and yoga and nature walks. If you can get your nervous system to chill, that's going to help not only your overall health and your mental health, but it's going to help your gut health. Keeping your blood sugar stable, also super important for that connection, because if your blood sugar is going like this, your body's producing stress hormones. And so we want to try to keep it, more like this, where those stress hormones aren't having to kick in to try to help your body deal with those ups and downs. Prioritize sleep, turn off your screens at least an hour before bedtime. Definitely don't watch the news, not in today's world, before you go to sleep, because sleep is just so critical for overall health. And I love including adaptogenic and nourishing herbs and nutrients through supplements and tinctures and teas. Some of my favorites are reishi mushroom, ashwagandha, and holy basil. And I've actually included an entire supplement guide in my Ultimate Gut Reset program, so you'll know exactly what products to buy. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So just, by making these simple shifts, adjusting how we hydrate, choosing gut-friendly foods, managing stress, you can optimize your digestion, reduce bloating, and support long-term health. To go back to this slide, just to reiterate, I always remind myself that I want my body to be a thriving, lush ecosystem and not a stagnant, toxic swamp. And that simple mind shift helps me make daily choices that support my health rather than sabotage it. Okay, so before we dive into my Q&A, I want to share something I'm super excited about, which is my Ultimate Gut Reset program. So if you're struggling with any of these symptoms, or you know someone who's struggling with any of these symptoms, or any other possible symptoms, like I said, gut health is the cornerstone. It's the foundation of overall health. But if you are struggling with any of these and you're looking to optimize your gut and improve your overall health, this program could definitely be for you. And like I said, if you know anyone, please share it with them as well. So it is a result of years of experience working with clients at my practice, as well as at an integrative doctor's office, where I help people who were struggling with everything from chronic digestion to chronic digestive issues to stubborn weight to skin problems and hormone imbalances. And I know firsthand, because I've used it for myself and for my clients, how life-changing these strategies can be. My Ultimate Gut Reset program is completely self-paced and all online, so you can log on from anywhere and work through it on your own schedule. And if you decide that it's right for you, here are some of the things that you'll get. So, step by step, weekly guidance to help you learn exactly what you need to do to optimize your gut health, meal plans packed with simple, nourishing recipes, a curated list of approved products to make shopping a breeze. Because I know, because I go to the grocery store and I look at every single label, how time consuming and confusing that can be. So, I wanted to make that process a lot easier by just giving you a list of my already approved products, an elimination diet guide to help you go through in a 30-day elimination diet if you want to do that in order to kind of suss out what those food triggers might be that could be, underlying problems for why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Supplement recommendations to support gut healing and boost energy. There's so much noise out there about different supplements, and a lot of them are total crap. So I've provided a guide to help you know exactly what to buy so you're not wasting your money and you're actually getting, something that's going to help you. And then a mindset and movement calendar to keep you on track for long-term success. And if you want an even more personalized, program, you can also have the option to work with me one-on-one, where we'll do gut microbiome and food sensitivity testing, which is a really great add-on if you're looking to dive deeper into your health. So, if you're ready to take charge of your health in a sustainable, flexible way, this program is definitely something to consider. And I'm offering an early bird special. So, if you sign up by March 16th, you'll get $50 off the regular price of $297. So, it comes out to only $247, and it's a super comprehensive program that will absolutely transform your health. And then today, since you're joining live, I'm going to send you a 7-day gut health reboot meal plan that's, packed with really healthy gut friendly recipes. So be sure to chat or pop your email into the chat box and I will send that to you. And it'll include the coupon codes. And so please feel free to share this with anyone that you think could benefit from it. Okay, so let me pop into if I can figure out where that is, my chat, to see if anyone. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at Zoom. Bear with me here. Let's see here. How do I get back? Wow. Okay. Let's see. Oh wait, here we go. I figured it out. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see if anyone recommended or okay, so does anyone have any questions that I can answer? Otherwise, I have some from Instagram that I can answer. Yes, Sarah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I kind of gear stuff towards when I'm talking to women because women are usually ones who show up for these things, but I have so many male clients and yes, same strategies will work for men as well. And Amy, yeah, I actually help Dr. Evans with like social media and marketing, and then I do see clients out of there still as well. But I also have my own practice that I'm mostly focusing on, which is Better Belly Nutrition. I know. Yeah, they're a great practice. So a couple questions that I was asked on Instagram that I can go over were people asked like, what about alcohol? Is that included on the program? And then what are your thoughts? Alcohol, sorry if this bursts a bubble, but yeah, it's a number one toxin. So alcohol is never going to be good for your gut health. But at the same time, then there's the stress, the stress, what am I saying? The gut stress connection. So I feel like alcohol in limited amounts is, of course, okay. But what I do is I stick to clear spirits and soda water because that way I'm putting less additives that need to be detoxified by my body. Versus, unfortunately, wine is, I find, one of the worst contributors, unless you're getting like a really small batch organic wine. Otherwise, they just spray the crap out of that stuff with pesticides. So, and then during the program, if you are looking to optimize your gut health, alcohol should definitely be removed for at least 30 days, I would say. And then another question I had gotten was, do you recommend counting calories or macronutrients while trying to lose weight? And I would say, no, I don't. Actually, I'm a whole food nutritionist. So I focus more on helping people optimize their digestion, slowing down while they're eating so that those hunger cues can kick in, making sure that they're absorbing their nutrients and focusing on a whole foods diet in order to get your body working well so that you don't have to count calories or macronutrients. And also, when we do that, we hyperfixate on those things. I think it's just more stressful. It's not sustainable. And also, your metabolism slows down when you restrict calories. So, I'm not trying to restrict calories. I'm trying to help people just learn how to eat healthy for themselves in a sustainable way. Yes, castor oil, Sarah. I love castor oil. I will definitely recommend castor oil packs. And I do include this in my reset program. Castor oil packs over your liver or your abdomen, for detoxification for sure. So helpful. I'll do it like if I notice I'm feeling bloated, if I've kind of like overeaten or went out to eat too much or drank too much, I'll do that pretty regularly. And it makes such a difference. Okay, I'm trying to make it so that I can actually see people, but I'm struggling at that. Like I said, this is my, this is only my, oh, here, I'm gonna stop share. This is only my second time doing this. So anyway, oh, Lisa, what are your thoughts on eating in the morning? It's all so women are so different from men, and a lot of these like intermittent fasting, all the hype around intermittent fasting has definitely, I think, been geared mostly to like the research is geared towards men. So for women, um, I think that if you're hungry, or for anyone, I should say, I think that if you're hungry, you should eat. Listen to your body. Um, but make it high fat and high protein because you want to make sure that you're giving your body steady energy for the day. And that's the best way to start off your morning. So, what I'll usually do is like 2 to 3 eggs, arugula, avocado, pumpkin seeds. If I have like some high quality, a little tiny bit of like a small piece of high quality, like gluten-free toast. I like a company called Pacha Bread. They make it out of buckwheat. I'll add that. But like these, oatmeal, cereal, toast with butter is like you're just basically giving yourself a blood sugar bomb and you're raising your blood sugar, then you're going to have a crash and then you're going to want to eat more carbs or go reach for caffeine to keep you going. So high fat, high protein is the best way to go. But giving yourself, I would say, like a 12-hour break between dinner and breakfast would be ideal because that gives your body that chance to go through that detoxification process and your digestion to do what it needs to do throughout the night so that you're not overloading it with too much food. And then, yes, Sarah, I'm going to repost this recording. I'll send an email out with it and I'll probably put it up on my website as well. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. All right, thank you so much for joining, everyone. I really appreciate you giving me 45 minutes of your Saturday morning. And I will send out an email with the coupon code. Again, please send that to anyone that you think could benefit from it, or maybe even yourself. And I'll be hopefully doing more of these on different topics. And I also have a podcast that I'd love for you to check out as well. So, all right. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.